Alright guys, welcome back to another Warframe video. So, in the last video, we ran through the Deadlock Protocol quest, and I was using Mag again. And yeah, I gotta say, Mag, I have really enjoyed as a frame. Also liked this weapon you could get from the Thermia Fractures event. One thing I can say is a big takeaway is Mag is definitely one that's going to stay in my rotation of frames that I use with regularity. I really liked that kit. Pretty easy to use and really strong kit. Great for crowd control. But now it is time to swap over to another new frame because we've got a really big pile here. So today we are going to jump over, Valkyr. That's what the name was, I believe. So let's quickly pop up here, look at their abilities real quick. Recover 50% faster from being knocked down. You know, that's probably not the best passive in the game, but, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. Rip line, hurl forth a hook. If it hits an enemy, it'll pull them to you. If it hits terrain, you'll pull yourself to the location. Okay, I mean, I guess you could use it for traversal, but I'm gonna just assume, I mean, I don't think mobility is really a problem in this game, but pulling enemies into you kind of sounds like it might function a bit like Mag's one ability, albeit instead of a group, just one at a time. Either way, that could be useful. Let's see, let out a rallying cry that bolsters your allies' attack speed while slowing down nearby enemies. Okay, so that could also be useful, though it says her allies, so I don't know if that's actually going to apply to me, but playing with a group, that could obviously be useful. For my purposes, even if it doesn't speed up my attack speed, slowing down nearby enemies, that could definitely be useful. Pretty high drain on that one. Lasts for 7 seconds, a 15-meter radius. Looks like it gives you an armor and a speed boost, but then it says speed decrease 15, so I guess that's... Maybe it makes me slower, but allies faster. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Either way, it sounds pretty neat. Let's see. Paralysis. Unleash her shield. Stunning and damaging enemies around her. That's got a very low drain. Smaller range damage multiplier. That's nice. Pretty big on knockback, but that also drains your shields by a third, it looks like. Hysteria. Imbued with energy, become a ball of vicious rage, capable of unleashing a torrent of deadly claw attacks on unsuspecting foes. Yeah, that looks like that could really clear a crowd. The drain, that is not as high as I expected. It looks like it gives impact and slash, and is that puncture? I don't recognize that symbol in the middle. Damage 100, radius 5 to 20. Oh, you get lifesteal as well? Energy per second, it takes 2.5 to 15. So yeah, I guess we'll play around with that and see how that works, but this sounds like it could be a pretty fun kit. Being that I really enjoy melee in this game, yeah, this could be a pretty fun one. Cool looking frame. Sounds like a pretty neat little package. Okay, so let's back out of that. Of course, I'm going to take a quick minute. I'm going to modify my appearance here. We've got some other new gear we're going to swap on as well, and then we will start our modding from there. So I'll do a quick cut, and I will be right back. All right, guys, took just a couple minutes to do some upgrading, and I did pick the new weapons I'm going to roll. So I went with this kind of pink and baby blue and gray and white color scheme. Think looks pretty sharp on that frame. So I don't have any more primaries, so I'm just sticking with Exceltra. I'm not going to swap the color scheme on that. I know it doesn't match the rest, but whatever. Then for the secondary, I went with Epitaph, which I know is the Sevagoth weapon. I say I know. I'm pretty sure it is, because that's the last secondary I have that I haven't upgraded. And then I grabbed the Ether Daggers for the melee. So first things first, let's start with our mod adjustments here. So Valkyr, upgrade. Let's see what she's about. Armor looks to be pretty big. So we know we're going to be doing a lot of meleeing, so let's just get that on now. Where are you? Not physique. Steel charge. Pop that in. That bumps us up to 28 out of the gate. So let's check if there's any that match this that we want to use. Intensify, I mean, yes. I feel like if I can get that on my builds, I should probably do it. So that will get strength up. Lightning dash, no. 100 health damage on health to energy. You know, I don't know if that's strictly necessary, but we may as well make use of the fact we can get a nice boost for limited point outlay. So we are going to pop that on. Whoops, did not mean to do that. And that leaves us a pretty decent bit of free reign. Energy siphon. Obviously, they don't have the highest energy. And oh, that's for... I'm an idiot. I was looking for equilibrium. So that will hopefully get more back as we pick things back up and kind of flip-flop between them. Augur message, ability duration. That would probably help on this one as well. That's a 7-pointer. That gets duration up. Now, that doesn't leave us a ton of points left here for throwing in like redirection or anything like that. Streamline is obviously going to be key, but we're out of points here with this current setup. So for a starting point, since I'm going to pop into Sanctuary Onslaught, I'm sure that this will be fine. Once we get those levels, then we'll come back here and make an adjustment. But that's where we're going to start with those 4. Exceltra, we're leaving the exact same. There's nothing to mess with. Though, actually, I did swap out one mod. I had in here split chamber. No. Not Vital Sense. I don't remember the one that I had in here. Vigilant Offense. Punch Through. That was a mod I had on specifically for the purposes of mag. Already has pretty decent crit, but I thought with Split Chamber, the multi-shot, that would be even more useful. And indeed, when I popped it on, it boosted the total damage outlay up significantly. It was well over 100 points, so this is easily the best one that I had in there. I am still running low on Endo, otherwise I would pop that one more point. So that's where we're leaving Exceltra. Epitaph I haven't done anything with yet, so let's quickly look at this. It is not a crit, but it's big on status. Okay, so this looks like it may be like a proccing weapon. A little bit of impact puncture and slash built in. Quick shot radial. So it does have a blast and radial attack. Again, status. Yeah, this is screaming at me. This is a throw some kind of status onto people. Actually, in the chart shot, it's got pretty healthy crit and pretty good numbers down the bottom, too. So let's start with where we always want to start. Hornet Strike. That's beautiful. That still leaves us with 4. I guess what we could do is... That should have, and let me put that in there, right? That will tap out the full Monty. But for getting 2 first mods on there, that really does the business on the numbers. Now look at this status too. That's actually pretty ridiculous. So this feels like this may be a secondary. I don't know how it's going to function on its own, but it's very much looking like it may be kind of a swap to proc, some kind of a status. We'll see. We'll see what I think when we get in there. Look at the Ether Daggers. I chose these over a couple because I looked quickly at what I had, and this had the greatest damage, base damage on it. So let's see if I have a stance mod for them. I do. Strong focus with multi-hit spins, swift stabs, and twisting slashes. Yeah, I like that one. Although actually it looks like this would give me more points. What's the difference? I feel like I would like that better, but what's the difference? 3 points. I may change my mind and come back to that. But for the here and now, we're going to use this one instead. So let's pop this on. Do I have... Oh boy, I really need endo. I can't bump it but one. That's fine. We will bump it the one. That throws us one more point back. Okay, so let's jump over here. Let's grab our pressure point. Yeah, that's already not bad outlay. Now, this does not look like a huge crit-based weapon, but it's got decent status percentage. And looks like slam attacks also do a pretty good bit of damage here, too. Definitely already had built-in slash. That takes it up even higher, so we're going to be drilling into slash much more than the crit side. But that's where we're going to start. Obviously, once we get a few levels, we'll come back and we'll adjust as needed. But before I settle on this, I want to make sure that I'm not losing my mind and that I didn't have any other weapons crafting. I did not. But now we can claim Frost. And Neja is still working, as is Equinox. So this is our setup. That's our starting point. So let's just pop right into the Onslaught. You know what? While I'm standing here, I'm just going to read her abilities one more time. What is the name of this frame? Valkyr, right? Valkyr? Like a Valkyrie? Yeah. Knock down faster. Okay, yep. Oh, that's right. The hook. For traversal, which seems probably silly, or bring people to you. Rally Cry boosts speed while slowing down. So 2. Okay, Rally Cry. Unleash your shields, stunning and damaging. Yep. And then the slash. Okay, great. So, pop right into Sanctuary Onslaught. And start working on some levels. It takes as long as it takes. Let's start by swapping to the Epitaph. Let's see. Oh, wow. That actually hits pretty hard. Let's check out this hook. Whoa. That, like, pulled them way, way away from me. So, I mean, I guess if you need to get somebody off of you, that could be useful. But it doesn't put them really in proximity to you to be able to do anything. So, there's that. I mean, this Epitaph seems to hit quite hard. Now, it also said there's a charge attack, so what happens if I charge it and release it? Whoa, that is insane damage! Are you kidding me? Okay, I gotta say, I am on a brand new secondary. I mean, this thing seems like it properly slaps. Kind of makes me wonder what the damage outlay is going to look like once it's actually ranked up. Ether daggers are pretty quick, and that's without even any speed boost on them, so we'll see what these do over time. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Now we've got the rallying cry. Okay. Pop. Yeah, that damage it's throwing out is properly ridiculous. Looks like it may be a room full of people with brand new frames. We're all trying to... I just one-shot that Eximus. Are you serious? This weapon is ridiculous, guys. What in the world? This could be stronger than a Carius. I am not even joking. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But that... I mean, what is this thing even? Makes me wonder how strong Sevagoth is going to be if just his secondary weapon is that powerful. What in the world? Okay, I am not mad about this at all. So that's going to drain my shields a little bit, if I recall correctly. But speed up my teammates. I mean, this epitaph, I don't even know what to say. Okay? I don't remember what this does. Oh, maybe that's the rally cry? These damage numbers, I mean, I literally can't even get over this. Epitaph's already up to 8. Look at the numbers it's actually putting out. Gosh, if you hit him in the head, this thing is pure filth. It's pure filth. I honestly, I truly feel like per shot, this is stronger than a Carius, which was bar none my strongest. Oh, I see how that works. So we'll definitely try out the other stance mod as well, no question about it. But I'm liking the way this one feels. Rally cry for you, friend. I'm pretty sure that buffs my teammates somehow. I'll have to go back to reread what 3 is because I honestly don't recall. I mean, it's like candy from a baby with this thing. The epitaph, that is. Well, I went down. So I guess the only downside is it's a little slow. But when you do hit your target, man, does it put out the hurt.
To a new zone.
Stay on your feet. Hide. Okay, we got through it. Well, we didn't quite get Valkyr up to 10. Oh, yeah, we did. Because post-match performance. Okay, Ether Dagger's halfway. Epitaph about halfway. Talons. Wait, can I put mods on my... What? That must be the 4. Oh, which I didn't have unlocked while I was playing. So it looks like... Can I mod that? Let's go back to the arsenal. Valkyr Talons. Okay, well, that's pretty huge. What is this? Hysteria? You're imbued with energy, become a ball of vicious rage, torrent of deadly claw attacks on unsuspecting foes. Yeah. We know what that is, so I can upgrade this too, right? I don't even know where that would show up in here. I guess I'll just... Wait, what was the... That's a stance. Okay. Stance is there? Oh gosh, there's so many. Huh, that's so weird. I don't see it. It's called Hysteria. It looks like it can be upgraded. Interesting. It's got a big capacity. So is this going to function like any other melee? Okay. Let's see what that does. Alright. Not a bad start. Let's look at this. Actually, wow. Look at that crit potential.
Me too.
Not super huge on impact puncture slash, but it gets a nice boost from pressure point, of course. So I guess we're going to focus down on crit. Let's see if any take that Naramon. Slash plus status chance. You know, we could just get our basic... Start with throwing some excess damage on by throwing another modifier. Yeah, that's a big bump. Let's see. Where's electricity? Shocking touch, because I've got another. That gives a huge boost, and we still have 16 points in the tap. So why don't we focus on... Let's look at all of them, and we're going to go for crit. Life Strike. Might be nice. That's on heavy. Status isn't particularly high on those. Crit damage. For 9. Crit damage for 8. The difference is a melee crit chance per combo multiplier. This is probably the better one to use. That bumps it to 3.2. Crit chance is at 50. That's got one too many points on what I have set up for now to get that on immediately. As does Organ Shatter. So why don't we just leave this for the starting setup? I know it's obviously leaving some points on the table, but being that I don't have the endo really to play with, I'm just going to leave that like that for now. So we'll eventually get to come in and see how that functions. Oh. So that's showing me the claws, and it looks like it's already got kind of my similar color scheme going on it, which is pretty sweet. Okay. Now let's go back into Valkyr herself. She's got 3 more points. Armor. Energy. I feel like... I mean, I've got Equilibrium. Shield isn't that high. Augur Message actually would be nice to have, but I don't have really anything that I can get on there yet, and Streamline's going to be more important, I suspect, to start. No. Ability duration and ability range. Yeah, that's that new one I got that popped up the other day. Yeah, so we've got a few really nice ones on here to consider. We just need some more points. Okay. Exceltra relieving Epitaph. I mean, I am legitimately gobsmacked by the performance of this thing. We were not going for crit. Oh, well, yeah, because it does on the charge. That's right. It kind of has an interesting setup here. So I probably don't really have... What's the ammo situation on this thing? Ammo max is 40. Fire rate's slow. 1 in the mag. The reload is super fast. It might make more... Obviously, that's a 12, and this is a 15. So over time, I could pop that on. That would throw more points back, so I would only need a few to get Hornet Strike on there. We could really make this thing hitting really hard. Let's just leave it as is for now. We know how it's performing. I like it. We're going to jump into the Ether Daggers. Spinning Needle, we did try out, of course. But what I might do is take that one off. There was another one that was actually the same kind of polarity there, Sinking Talon. Actually, so I've got 2 Spinning Needles now. This one says strong focused attacks with multi-hit spins. Oh gosh, do I even have any Indo at all? 56, so I can throw 1. Better than none.
It's impressive, operator. But I wonder if there are more to be had.
Slash. That was kind of the next thing we wanted to look at. Slash. That's crit plus heavy wind-up speed. It's not huge crit at all, so I'm not going to worry about that. The wind-up is only half a second. That's a waste of a mod on this. Organ Shatter, yeah, we're not looking for that. What did I say I was looking for? Slash? Gosh, which one is Slash? I feel like it might be down here on the left. Jagged Edge? Yeah. And I feel like I have another one that's similar, but does something else. Tacks on another thing. That's Slash plus status. That's for 8 versus 5. I think that's the better mod. And do I have anything that I could get onto that slot that might be useful? Yeah, look at those numbers. That's a huge increase. More status chance we could do. That might make the most sense. But there's also potential life steal. I feel like she already has some built in on something. That's on heavies. Let's see what the status bumps do with that on.
This is how
Angry.
and they require maintenance after all.
67.5. Yeah, that's what we're going to roll. Okay, so for now, that's our mod adjustment. Sorry that took a little longer than I anticipated. But we've got Valkyr up a little bit. And Epitaph and the daggers. And we've already got some stuff on the talons.
As you will ever be.
So I think what I'm going to do, what we were going to do here is pop back into the Sanctuary Onslaught, where since we have her 4th finally unlocked, we'll be able to see how this functions. And I'll cut out the rest of the run unless there's something, meaningful. Otherwise, I'm just going to consider this part of my rank up grinding in the background. But to complete and give the full first impression experience, we really should see what this last ability does. So we'll try it out in here and see what I think. All right. We pop in. Let's give a quick war cry. Get some boost on our buds. And then we'll find a group of enemies. Whoa, this is fast. Does it just stay on? I guess until maybe you run out of energy. Whoa. She's like way fast in this too. So this ability is still on because I'm still picking up energy. It's a little hard to tell what I think of her because I'm in a group with somebody that's got... It's the same frame that every time I've come in here in the last few times, somebody's got some ability with a ridiculous range that just kills everything immediately, which makes it basically impossible for me to tell what I think about a frame or otherwise when everything's melted before I can even touch it. I mean, it seems pretty cool. It's a little tough to say. Again, for all of the reasons I mentioned. Okay, and I can see it counting down. So now I could pull a war cry. I'll be honest, I did not mean to jump through there because I don't want to actually keep playing with these guys as they're just melting everything before I can really get in to test and see what I think. In fact, I don't actually see the point of somebody that's already got a setup that melts everything like that. What's the point of running Sanctuary Onslaught? I mean, I guess maybe there's technically some mods or relics you could farm here with relative efficiency. Yeah, so long as you're picking up energy, I mean, this can just keep going. So that's a positive. This seems like it could be pretty solid. Yeah, host migration, I don't blame you. You're probably thinking the same thing I am. Okay, now these don't hit as hard as, say, the epitaph that I had on the side, nor as hard as the ether daggers. But I didn't figure out how to rank up the stance, so maybe that's part of it. Is that going to drop me down into the ether? Yeah, it is. But yeah, I like it. It at least has a long duration on it. Anyway, that at least gives us... Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. That at least gives us a few more levels and wraps up the first impression. First impression, pretty fun frame. I'm definitely going to have to get some more damage output built up on these. So this is a melee. It's got big crit potential. It's got... you know, not huge on status, but let's start with, I guess we'll go pressure point, the standard default. That really kicks up the damage output. Let's look and see if there's any of these worth putting on. You know, I mean, because of that, it bumps up decent slash already anyway. And that would also bump up status chance if I threw that on there. Let's just test it. Let's throw it on and see what the numbers do. Slash really goes up. Status only goes up by 5. So maybe we use that. Maybe we don't. I think kind of like the others. Let's just start with getting numbers higher by throwing on some status effects. We'll target ripping shields off. That's for puncture. Okay, let's just jump back and let's look for our crit specific mods. status chance is already not that high. What happens if I put that in? It goes up a little higher than the last one, but it's so low you would really have to stack them. I'm not sure that it's worth it. Attack speed, it's already pretty quick, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go crit damage. 3.2 multiplier. We could stack it with organ shatter. But there's another crit chance. Yeah, let's throw that on. That bumps it to 100%. Okay. And that leaves us points for organ shatter if we wanted. Plenty. Throw that on. That goes up to 4.7. Oof, oof, oof. That's really bumping some numbers up. Melee slam damage. I don't think that it's using that much. Reach, I mean, I guess I could extend the range on it, but you're so fast in it, I'm not sure that that actually really matters. It's already so fast. Just like throwing on Fury, that feels like a waste to me. Okay, since nothing else that I have focuses crit, I guess what I could do then, that's 8, so 1 point less than I have. I could just use the slash to get a little bleed dot. Let's see what that does. That's probably going to bump slash a fair bit. It does, a decent chunk. So that throws a little more in the background. I think for now that's not a bad setup, but I honestly would rather have the Carnus Mandible just because it gives... I have that one built up a little higher anyway, but it also will bump the status chance. Not that it's particularly high on this, but that's okay. So yeah, that's where we're focusing right now. A couple points left over. It's not fully ranked up. I think that's not a bad spot. I mean, if we're looking at the damage numbers, they're pretty solid. So that should help the cause. It should probably make it feel a bit better. Ether daggers, we're just going to check through these again. I'm going to do a quick cut since I already know what we're doing on these others. And we hadn't really messed with the talons yet. I'll just show you where the rest of my weapon kit ends up. So I'll do a quick cut while I'm going through my process. Okay, we settled on True Steel to round this out. It doesn't have a super high crit on its own, but because this is time 2 for heavy, and I'm using heavy attacks a fair bit with these because it gives that really nice lunge towards big piles of enemies, that bumps it up to 40. So this is actually pretty useful, and it's got a lot bigger damage boost using the heavy anyway. So that's where I settled on Ether Daggers. I'm going to do the same for Epitaph. Okay, Epitaph, I just had to swap some mods around to make the most use of this polarity, and I was able to keep Hornet Strike on and get this multi-shot added on with the Amalgam Barrel Diffusion. That's one of the new ones I picked up from the Thermia Fractures event, and we kept Pistol Pestilence on as well. That really boosted the numbers even higher. So yeah, that's not bad. Now, to be fair, the number of damage instances fired per shot without consuming additional ammo, since this fires one at a time, I don't know if that actually applies, but I guess we'll test it and see what it feels like. And in the background, we get a little dodge speed boost, and it did throw the base damage numbers up a fair chunk anyway. So maybe that's not the best mod, but that's what I have on for now, and we still have plenty of ranks to go. So that's where we are leaving the build for the here and now. Valkyr, I have 9 points left. Let's see. Efficiency. What could I do to increase efficiency on this? I forget the name of the mod. Streamline, right? Yep, ability efficiency. And that takes top 9. We don't need range. We've got strength and duration up plus efficiency. That's going to be pretty huge. And then we've still got a boatload of ranks to go, so we can bump further any of these base stats we want. But that's where we settled on Valkyr for the here and now. And in lieu of doing another super, super long video in the background like I have done so many as of late, guys, I am just going to keep this strictly a Valkyr First Impressions only video. I'm doing nothing else. We're just Valkyr First Impression. We've already got a good chunk of work on the weapons. Valkyr will continue to go up. I'll continue playing around and getting the numbers pushed so we can get her maxed out and kind of settle the build. But my first impression is I like her. She's very fun, especially for somebody like me that really enjoys the melee fighting aspect. Not that I dislike the gunplay, but I think the melee kind of fulfills that space ninja fantasy much more so. So that for me is super fun. But yeah, my first impression, I like this frame. I like it a lot. Very melee intensive, melee focused. I feel like if I can tweak the mods, like I could get this really feeling quite nice. But yeah, I like it. I like the kit. I'll go back to reread these abilities again to see if there's any kind of other hidden aspects in here. That gives you a huge armor increase when you war cry. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. Paralysis. You unleash your shields, stunning and damaging enemies. So that seems pretty useful, but it seems like almost Warcry to give yourself a little armor and then pull 4 so you're armored up as you run in and you already have a little lifesteal built in anyway. Yeah, I feel like this frame could be really good if you can get it to the point where you have the best energy management as possible to keep 4 going, Hysteria going as long as possible. But yeah, we'll see how good I can get this tightened over time. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Just a first impression on Valkyr. I like it. I have some work to do, but I think it's going to be a really fun one. And for me, as a melee player, this could be one that I definitely strongly consider keeping in the rotation and coming back to. But that's going to do it for today, guys. As always, I do appreciate you checking in, and we will catch you on the next one.